right, hello and welcome to the video. I gotta move some stuff out of the way that I forgot about that I haven't moved in this space that I'm working with here. All right, so what I want to briefly discuss is let's see if I can get my legs in here. At least you'll be able to see part of my body. All right, I'm not gonna lie. I've had 4 strokes. That's why I'm not a epic specimen anymore, like I was when I was half my present age. So uh, type 2 diabetes and 4 strokes is why I look the way I look now. But I know what I'm talking about in terms of martial arts, and so uh, one of the techniques that would have been useful to this young man who was attacked the other day and got bitten up while he was using BJJ is to first of all stay at hand versus hand range or elongated clinch range. When you're fighting a larger opponent in a real no rules fight, you do not want to go belly to belly with him, even if you think you're a BJJ black belt, because what happened is he got bit up. The opponent bit him 6 hard times with full mouth bites. And he's lucky he didn't get hurt even worse because he could have had fingers bitten off. He could have had his carotid artery bitten. Things like that could have gone wrong for him. And, thankfully, thank to God that he didn't get hurt really bad. But there are some things he could have done better that he was not taught in BJJ class that are taught in Okinawan karate and Japanese jiu-jitsu. And so one of them is the Japanese jiu-jitsu standing joint locks, such as the front wrist lock, the full wrist lock, and the reverse wrist lock would have been very useful to him. Keeping at hand versus hand range and working your knee strikes to the groin, push kicks to the solar plexus, bladder, and groin. And especially what I'm about to discuss, the Isshinryu cross heel stomp kick to the inside of the opposite side knee or to the top of the foot is something that he could have used a couple of times in that fight, especially had he stayed at hand versus hand elongated clinch range. I'm going to discuss at least 3 or 4 ranges of clinches. All right. You can have hand versus hand, where you can reach your opponent's hand or maybe their wrist. You can have hand versus elbow, where you're close enough to do the pressure point inside the elbow, which is banned in MMA, by the way, because it works too good. All right. You can be close enough to grab the opponent by the shoulder, and you can be close enough to grab the opponent behind the neck and back of the head. That's 4 ranges of clinches. And obviously, you can also do double underhooks like he was trying to do, but that's a bad idea against a bigger opponent, especially in a no rules street fight. And as he found out, he got bit up. His instructor probably didn't understand how to teach him how to fight like that. He's also lucky he didn't get eye gouged by someone who was vicious enough to bite him 6 times. Thank God that he didn't get eye gouged, because that person could have ripped his eyes out. You do not want to get in bear hug range in a real no rules fight. You just don't. Because the bad guy is a vicious predator who is going to do anything imaginable to you, like he found out. So you want that cross heel stomp kick. This is banned in MMA because it's gravity assisted and because it hits a target that is very easy to destroy, namely the inside surface of the knee joint or the top of the foot. All right. And both of those targets are pretty much destroyed by one cross heel stomp kick. And you throw it from an elongated clinch position into the side of the knee with a downward gravity assisted force. It hits even stronger than a front push kick, and it's hitting a target that just breaks and only takes a couple pounds of force to break, namely the side of your knee. All right. So that's something that everyone should train for self-defense, is a good cross heel stomp kick. And the 3 basic joint locks that I showed you, the front wrist lock, the full wrist lock, which is kind of like a chicken wing here, and the reverse wrist lock, which locks out the elbow and twists the wrist in the opposite direction. You have both compression and twisting going on here. If you don't learn those 3 locks, you're basically screwing yourself, because they're taught at yellow belt level in Isshinryu karate and Japanese jiu-jitsu, because we teach the best stuff first and the nuances later. All right. At yellow belt level, I learned the front wrist lock, full wrist lock, reverse wrist lock, double cross arm wrist lock, rear naked choke, cross arm breaker, full arm bar, which is banned in MMA, reverse triangle arm bar, and the disarmer on the very first day of submissions class as a yellow belt when I was 12 years old. And I still remember that day like it was yesterday, because I learned how to tap out a grown man when I was only 12 years old. All right. That is some techniques that would have been useful to that self-defense situation. So keep that in mind. That cross-heel stomp kick is devastating, and you need to practice that one and train it. Even though it seems pretty simple, just train it so you get the muscle memory of picking your knee up and stomping over. And you can actually throw the knee into the opponent, keep picking the knee up, and then throw a cross-heel stomp kick all in one motion, which is much more efficient and even harder to dodge. All right, I think I've discussed enough in this video briefly. Thank you very much.